What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and I'm here to do my preview video for the Chargers game tomorrow in the afternoon. It's an afternoon game. It's going to be about 1 o'clock my time, 4 o'clock Eastern time at Hard Rock Stadium. I want to apologize. Obviously, this video is hella late. It's like after 8 o'clock now my time, and I've had a hell of a day. And so I apologize both for the lateness and because this is going to be a super short preview video, and it's probably going to kind of suck because I'm not really going to talk about much. I'm just going to be super fucking quick and get what I think out there. So look, unfortunately, the Dolphins are starting to have some injuries and COVID problems, although it does look like Kyle Van Noy at least will be active for the game. Didn't see anything about Christian Wilkins, so we still might be without him. So that sucks. Also, I mean, look, I was going to say some stuff about that too, but I'm not even going to fucking bother, honestly. So let's see. I mean, the Chargers, they have good players on both sides of the ball, for sure. It's not like, it's not like they don't have talent. So they definitely have players, talented players on both offense and defense. It's not going to be, just a go in and walk right over them kind of game. Although this is definitely a game that theoretically the Dolphins should win. And in fact, I think they're actually favored to win for like the first time the entire season or some shit like that. So anyway, the Dolphins definitely should win this. It's, again, I mean, they have talent, but they're not performing, at the level that they want to, or certainly not at the level that their talent would suggest this season. Now, of course, they've had to deal with injuries, and, the entire league is dealing with COVID problems. So they've had their fair share of issues too. Going into this game, so look, this is an underperforming team. So from that perspective, the Dolphins definitely should, win this game and be able to, control the tempo and the momentum for the most part, right? Like theoretically, I mean, you never know what can happen. Obviously, all kinds of things can happen, and we are going to be missing some pretty key guys on both offense and defense. So, we'll see how all that plays out. Yeah, but so, we definitely have the advantage there, and then we definitely have the advantage in, I mean, as far as injuries go, honestly, it's probably kind of a wash. That's not really, much of an excuse for the Dolphins. In other words, well, I mean, look, they have injuries. We have injuries. The Dolphins are starting to catch up to the rest of the league, unfortunately, in that regard. But that shouldn't be the deciding factor in this game, right? Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, this is just going to be a super short video. I'm sorry. I don't have myself together for this at all right now. I'm being honest with you guys. It's just been a fucking weird, crazy day, and yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, again, look, the Dolphins, I expect them to come out and get a win. I'm going to say 24-21. Herbert's apparently been playing, really well, but they obviously haven't been getting any wins. They're like a 2-5-1 team, I think, is what their record is, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, it's like 2-5 or 2-5-1, something like that. Anyway, so and the Dolphins are definitely set up to make a run, right? They're in good position to win the next few games and make a push. I'm still not totally sure that they're going to be able. I mean, there is a probability or a possibility. There is some chance of them winning the division, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen. Although, having said that, quick side note, the Bills actually just put a bunch of players on the COVID list, including Josh Norman, who actually tested positive. So you never know, right? Like, you never know what could happen. I mean, they could end up losing games. Now, to be fair, it wouldn't be fair, right? And you really can't judge any team at all adequately this season because of how extremely fucked up it is in numerous different ways. You know, but it could be huge for them, right? So I'm not even really sure who they play this week, but maybe they get a loss because, you know, they've got a bunch of dudes on the fucking COVID list now that won't play, right? And whom they would have otherwise if we weren't playing in a pandemic and so on and so forth. So, but I don't think, I mean, look, the Dolphins are going to have to fucking, I would expect the Bills to be a 10 plus win team at least. So obviously we would have to be able to match that at least. We'd have to do better than them because it's pretty inconceivable at this point that we're going to be able to win off of like tiebreakers, divisional record, or conference record. Those are pretty, you know, out of reach at this point. The only way we'll really, the highest probability of winning the division is an outright, you know, record, having a better record outright. And so I don't think that's going to happen, but they certainly could make it into the playoffs. Now, I think somebody just mentioned in one of my comments recently that the Colts, since they beat the Titans, which, by the way, in that game, just a quick side note, bruh, the Titans fucking special teams super lost them that game. I mean, it was just nasty, right? Like, it was a fucking shank. It started off with a shanked punt that went 17 yards and set up the Colts with like 30 yards to go. They go get a touchdown to take the lead. Then they fucking have a blocked punt the very next drive, which gets returned for a touchdown. And then later on, when they're trying to, you know, come back, their kicker misses a fucking field goal, right? So like, Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, super side note there. I feel bad for them and you know, Tannehill, because they're playing great. They're doing, you know, great things, especially despite the fact that the season's super fucked up and they had an outbreak within their team and so on and so forth. So I feel bad for them that their, you know, special teams just totally shit that game away. I mean, it was gonna, you know, it was likely to be a close game anyway, you know, and it was a bit of a shootout, right? They were going back and forth a little bit there. But then fucking it just completely unraveled for them. Anyway, so point of that is because of that, somebody mentioned that dropped us out of the 7th seed for the playoffs. I'm not really sure. I haven't actually looked at the seeding, you know, or the playoff picture, and I probably won't until, you know, like the end of the season, the regular season anyway, until it's like super important and like actually really matters. Anyway, but like, you know, we'll see, right? So I mean, they could still end up having, you know, games canceled, which is a high probability, especially with the way the outbreaks throughout the entire NFL are going. It's getting worse and worse and worse, especially, you know, whatever. So they could end up expanding it to 16 teams, right, for the playoffs. And so maybe the Dolphins get in that way. But, and frankly, I mean, if they rip off, you know, a bunch of wins coming up, then they can get in based off of having, you know, a good record, right? And a better record than other teams that would push them into the, you know, the playoffs as a wild card or whatnot. So, you know, they definitely have a lot of opportunity. Again, I mean, you know, and I've said, to me, when it comes to this season, one, the Dolphins are definitely, from my perspective, and from the evaluation that I've done based off of the data I have, the stats, the fucking, the tape, the extenuous circumstances, right? The extenuating circumstances, the extra factors that go into it, right? The COVID, the ungodly amount of injuries, right? When you take all of that into account, to me, the Dolphins are overperforming on the season, right? I don't believe they are quite as good as what they seem to be yet. Now, that's not to say that they won't get there, okay? But they're not actually as good as what they seem right now. They seem better than they are because of those extenuating circumstances and factors. Now, having said that, they've taken advantage of the situation, which is great and something that you want to see, and they are definitely in position to make a run and get into the playoffs and make this season, you know, certainly better than expected. And, you know, considering how crazy and fucked up this entire season is just in general, not just for the Dolphins, but for, you know, the entire league and everything, you know, turn it into a good season, right? Yeah, so I hope they do. But the biggest thing in that regard for this season and for the remainder of the season is that they stay healthy. Well, first of all, the season actually has to play out in its entirety. Then they need to stay healthy and also not have outbreaks and lose guys to COVID and so on and so forth. So, if that can remain the case, right? So, hypothetically speaking, if the season plays out in its entirety, if the Dolphins stay healthy and don't have to put a bunch of guys on the COVID list or have a major outbreak or anything like that, then they should absolutely have a great chance of making a push when, you know, 5 of the remaining games that they have, 5 of the remaining 8 games that they have, I have expectation that they could win 5 of the remaining games that they have as of right now, and then, you know, make it into the playoffs and stuff. So hopefully that's what happens. You know, I'm not gonna get myself too, like, over the top excited, because unfortunately you can't avoid injuries. Unfortunately, the Dolphins are gonna sustain more. They still have half a season to play, right? And you know, and unfortunately COVID apparently is I mean, not apparently, it absolutely is going to continue to be a problem. We'll just have to wait and see how much that affects the Dolphins directly. Although, you know, if it affects Dolphins opponents, then it affects them directly. So, yeah, anyway. So, I mean, the rest of the season is just a giant fucking mystery, and it's super up in the fucking air, and we'll just have to wait and see how it fucking plays out. Anyway, like I said, I mean, so just to apologize one more time for the super short, super shitty video on my analysis, excuse me. Just had a crazy day. But I had to get you guys something. I didn't want to, like, just not make a video at all. So here I am. Yeah, so again, super sorry on the late video and the shitty video. I'm doing my best. So, alright, anyway, tomorrow is the game. We don't have much longer to see how that plays out. It's, you know, rookie on rookie, Tua versus Herbert, so it should be interesting. I mean, it's, you know, definitely gonna draw fucking attention. You know, I mean, it's definitely been in the headlines and stuff like that, just like it will be, you know, when we play the Bengals, should Tua still be in the starting lineup, right? So it should be an exciting game, and like I said, it's definitely a game that I would expect them to be able to win. It's not going to be just, you know, a go in and steamroll, because this team is not, you know, while they have been underperforming and have had, you know, plenty of issues, you know, this season, it's definitely a talented team. They have a lot of talent across the board, and it's not going to be an easy game, but it's a game that I do think that the Dolphins should win. Like I said, I'm going to give it a 24-21 Dolphins victory. Hopefully that's the case, and so we will see tomorrow. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspectives. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. And of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at Dillon Tartaro. And with that, I am out. I will see y'all soon. Fins up.